So here we are to officially launch this very important project that is a Southern African Development Community project that encompasses all member states in the region. The project is here to operationalize the Sadc Regional Agriculture Policy, in short RAP, and was crafted to develop and advance agriculture in the region. The development of the regional agriculture policy started in 2008, and it was approved by the ministers responsible for agriculture and food security in June 2013 in Maputo, Mozambique, and subsequently it was endorsed by the Sadc Council in Victoria Falls, Zimbabwe in August 2014. The collaboration between Sadc and FAO started a long time ago and has strengthened over the years. FAO has worked very closely with Sadc in supporting agricultural development of Sadc member states and the region as a whole. It is worth mentioning a few of the joint initiatives related to this project we are launching today. From 2005 to 2011, FAO implemented a project funded by France on improving policy environment and related capacity for sustainable food and agriculture development in the Sadc region. From 2010 to 2012, FAO funded and implemented a project titled Support to Formulation of the Sadc Regional Agriculture Policy. From 2015 to 2016, FAO funded and implemented a project titled Sadc Regional Agriculture Policy, Support with the Development of Sadc Regional Agriculture Policy Investment Plan 2016-2020, and articulation with National Agriculture Plan in the region and under the auspices of CADEP. As my colleague said on Tuesday, we tend to give very funny names to the projects that are difficult then even to read. Yeah, the EU-funded project, therefore, comes on to further work that FAO has contributed to by supporting the rolling out of some of the aspects of the regional agriculture policy. The project we are launching today is titled Support towards Operationalization of the Sadc Regional Agriculture Policy, and we call it STOSAR in short. The European Union, through the 11 European Development Fund Program 2014-2020, called EDF 11, is financing the project. The EU and Sadc Secretariat in 2016 identified FAO as the lead implementing agency for 2 of the 3 components of this project. The 2 components are enhancing information on agriculture production, sustainability, and competitiveness for evidence-based decision-making, and improving access to markets through implementation of plants and animal pest and diseases control strategies at the regional level. The third component, facilitating implementation of some components of the regional food and nutrition security strategy in Sadc member states, is implemented by the Sadc Secretariat itself. FAO is very pleased to see the fruit of the strong partnership with Sadc in the development of the regional agriculture policy, followed by the Regional Agriculture Policy Investment Plan. And now we are about to implement STOSAR, which should really operationalize this policy. I would like to reiterate FAO commitment in supporting Sadc Secretariat and the 16 member states in achieving improved agriculture production, productivity and competitiveness, food security and nutrition, and rural development through a new regional agriculture policy. It is our conviction that the action under this project will contribute to social economic development and accelerate regional integration in the Sadc region. As we know already, the project will run for 33 months, and seek to enhance information management system and control of transboundary plant pests and animal diseases, and create a sustainable growth, social and economic growth, promote trade, and enhance food security and nutrition security in the whole Sadc region. The project seeks to build on achievements made by the African Solidarity Trust Fund funded project that was entitled Strengthening Control of Food Safety Threats, Plants and Animal Diseases for Agricultural Productivity and Trade in Southern Africa. This project was implemented by FAO from 2015 to 2017 with the usual support by the member states. Although it targeted at 7 member states, all the regional activities encompassed all the countries in the region. The last 3 years have been dedicated to the project inception workshop. The last 3 days have been dedicated to the project implementation workshop, whose main objective was to bring together all member states, stakeholders, and implementing partners for better understanding of project objectives, expected results, and implementation modalities. This platform was used to refine the project work plans, milestones, and chart the way forward, creating a clear understanding of the roles and responsibilities of everyone involved, and to ensure timely and successful implementation of the project. As I conclude, I would like to thank Sadc Secretariat for selecting FAO as a partner for the implementation of this project, and thank European Union for funding this project. I would also like to thank all the member states that are working with us on this project. To our stakeholders and implementing partners, we really greatly appreciate your support in all endeavors to improve agricultural development in the region. I look forward to successful implementation of this project, given the time and resources that have been spent in this launching workshop, and the enthusiasm that was created apparently here over the last 3 days. I'm also encouraged to continue strengthening of the collaboration between Sadc and the EU in the development of agriculture in the region. This project is one of the many that we expect to come from this successful collaboration. With these remarks, I would like to wish you all the best in successful implementation of the project. I thank you for your attention. Muito obrigado. Grand merci. Tatenda. Danke. Pula.
It's a great pleasure for me to be here. I realize I come in the sort of finale of what has been a very busy week for all of you, and I'm very glad to join you here. I'm glad to be invited to take part in the launch of the program for support towards operationalization of the Sadc Regional Agricultural Policy, the RAP as we say. Through this program, the EU has committed resources to the tune of 9 million euro to assist the Sadc Secretariat to promote and support actions in the agricultural sector at regional and national levels in the Sadc region. With 61% of the region's population living in rural areas, agriculture sector performance has a strong influence on food security, poverty reduction, economic growth, industrialization, and social and political stability. And in this light, the agricultural sector is of strategic importance to the socio-economic and political development in the region. On the global scene, world food production needs to double by 2050 in order to cater for population growth and evolving food habits. Sustainable food production itself has many challenges, from climate change, declining soil and water quality, to land availability and the demands of the global marketplace. These challenges will significantly affect the ability of the agri-food system to deliver healthy and nutritious diets to a rapidly increasing population. In response to this situation, our policies on agriculture need to be appropriate, timely, and up-to-date. The RAP was designed to make contributions to sustainable agricultural growth and socio-economic development, and this is, of course, we at the EU very happy to support. So I hope you have had fruitful discussions during the 3 preceding days in this Inception workshop, and on our side, on the EU side, we will be interested to learn about some of the conclusions in the following sessions of this event later today. Ladies and gentlemen, the European Union is currently upgrading its historical relations with Africa. We are in the process of renegotiating the so-called Cotonou Agreement, which expires in 2020, and the European Commission President Juncker has recently launched the EU-Africa Alliance for Sustainable Investments and Jobs. Let me say a few words on this. The EU is already the biggest trading partner, the first investment partner, and the main provider of development cooperation to Africa. But there is increasingly, on both sides, in Europe and in Africa, a recognition that this relationship must evolve from a donor-recipient partnership to a true partnership based on common values and shared interest, and a partnership simply of equals. It is also clear that development assistance alone is not enough to achieve the SDGs. A more prominent role of the private sector has to be factored in. And in this context, the concept of the EU-Africa Alliance has a few strategic priorities, and these are to boost the strategic investments and strengthening the role of the private sector in Africa. We also want to strengthen the business environment and investments in general. We would like to invest in people by investing in education and skills, and we would like to tap the full potential of economic integration and trade. The EU has been a strong supporter of regional integration in Africa, including of the Sadc integration process. We could say that regional integration is in the EU's DNA, based on our own successful experience of regional integration. Not, of course, mentioning the Brexit, but in general, if you see what I mean. In today's world, we also believe there is a need for more cooperation and an upholding of the rules-based order. So in the EU, we see ourselves as champions of multilateralism, and we would argue that there is a need for all of us to come together in this endeavor. So the program we are launching today is part of a larger regional envelope of 153 million euros in support of the Sadc's regional integration program. Under the EU Regional Indicative Program for the period of 2014 to 2020, in fact, the EU is supporting Sadc in the implementation of the Regional Indicative Strategic Development Plan and of the Strategic Indicative Plan for the organ, for the Sadc organ, in its main dimensions, namely regional economic integration, peace, security and regional stability, and regional natural resource management, which is it is under which this program of today falls under. The EU support to the operationalization of the RAP is not being implemented as an isolated, standalone fashion, but rather in a complementary manner to a number of global initiatives, like the United Nations Agenda 2030 for Sustainable Development and the African Union's Malabo Declaration on Accelerated Agricultural Growth and Transformation for Shared Prosperity and Improved Livelihoods. In addition, food security and sustainable agriculture is a major area of commitment and engagement for the EU also on the global level. It is the focal sector of EU assistance in more than 60 developing countries, with around 9 billion euro allocated under the current budget. Ladies and gentlemen, our support for the operationalization of the RAP has taken a broad view and includes a number of cross-cutting issues that impact the vulnerability of citizens in the Sadc region, like gender and equality issues, HIV/AIDS, and not least climate change. And here I would like to mention the recent cyclone Idai and the deadly floods which have struck some SADC member states, in particular Mozambique, Malawi, and Zimbabwe, with terrible consequences for the population in these countries and with very negative impact on infrastructure and agriculture as well. So I would like to express here the EU's solidarity with all the people affected. And the EU has made substantial emergency aid available to address the pressing humanitarian needs, and we are sending technical expertise as well to the area. And immediately after this meeting, I will head to the Embassy of Mozambique to sign the Book of Condolences, expressing our sadness and sympathies as we stand by the region in this difficult moment. And since I spoke to Dr. Gav, and I realized that he's from Mozambique and has even family and friends affected, luckily not with any the most terrible consequences, but after all, very much affected. I would like to express my condolences to you and my sympathies to you and to everyone else who has affected members of your families or friends. So finally, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to note that the Food and Agricultural Organization, FAO, represented by René Tschudek here, and others, have been selected to be the implementing party in this project. This means we have the prime global body with expertise in agriculture and food security leading the implementation of this project, and I'm certain that this will produce positive results at the end. So many thanks to FAO for taking this role. We believe that the project will benefit from your experience and presence within Southern Africa through the regional office in Harare, but also through all the offices in SADC member states, including the one here in Botswana. So I wish good luck to FAO, to the SADC Secretariat, and of course also to SADC member states. You are all our partners. So good luck when you take on the regional agricultural policy to take it forward. Thanks a lot. As we say here, Ke Alebocha and Pula. Yeah.
On behalf of the Executive Secretary of SADC, His Excellency Dr. Stegomena Lawrence Tax, it's my pleasure to welcome you to the official launch of the program of support towards operationalization of the SADC Regional Agriculture Policy, RAP. Allow me to thank all of you for responding positively to our invitation and attending to this important event. The agriculture sector is a major contributor to the social and economic well-being of SADC. Over 61% of the region's population derive their livelihood from agriculture. The sector also contributes between 4 to 30% of GDP of member states and 13% of exports earnings. In this regard, the revised SADC Regional Indicative Strategic Development Plan 2015-2020 has identified agricultural development as one of the key prerequisites for reducing poverty and enhancing industrialization of the region. It calls for enhancement of agriculture through intensification of production by expanding area under production, irrigation, mechanization, and sustainable use of fertilizers and better seed quality and distribution. To realize the full potential of agriculture, the SADC Regional Agriculture Policy was formulated and approved by the SADC Council of Ministers in August 2014 as an overarching policy framework for the region's agriculture sector. The RAP defines common agreed objectives and measures to guide, promote, and support actions at the regional and national levels in the SADC agriculture sector. The RAP is being implemented through the Regional Agriculture Investment Plan 2017-2022, which was approved in 2016. It outlines the priority programs of the RAP to be implemented, and it is a vehicle for raising the required resources for the operationalization of the RAP. This project will support the operationalization of Sadc regional agriculture policy and RIPE. Sadc is very grateful to the partnership and assistance of the European Union through the 11 Economic Development Fund Program 2014-2020, who are providing 9 million euros to fund the following components of the project. One, facilitating implementation of some components of the regional food and nutrition security strategy in SADC member states. This component is implemented directly by the SADC Secretariat. And two, enhancing information on agriculture production, sustainability, and competitiveness for evidence-based making. And three, improving access to markets through implementation of plant and animal pest and disease control strategies at the regional level, which will be implemented by FAO. Ladies and gentlemen, the objective of the project is to support the operationalization of SADC regional agriculture policy, to improve production, productivity, and competitiveness of agriculture products through combating and controlling animal and crop pests and improving information gathering, analysis, and use in the region. This corresponds to Objective 1 of regional agriculture policy. This project will also address the second objective of RAP, which is strengthening the access to markets for agriculture products and promoting regional and international trade. We are all witness of the impact animal and crop diseases and pests, particularly transboundary animal pest diseases, can have on agriculture development. The effects of pests and diseases are often far-reaching as they negatively affect not only the production and productivity, but equally local, regional, and international trade. We all know how information on agriculture production, sustainability, and competitiveness is key for trade and improved production. The importance of this project, therefore, cannot be emphasized. I would like to appeal for the concerted efforts of all stakeholders involved in the project to ensure that its goals and objectives are fully realized and provides value for money for those that have assisted us with funding. Ladies and gentlemen, before I conclude, may I once again express our gratitude to the European Union for the excellent relations that continue to exist between our institutions and for the support that the European Union continues to provide to SADC. To the FAO, for the continued collaboration in many areas in the agriculture sector, including accepting to be the implementing partner for some of the components of this project. To all stakeholders that are here, for finding it worthwhile to participate at this event and collaborating in various ways on the project. Let me also thank our partners from the media for making time to join us this morning. You have a critical role of informing and educating SADC citizens about SADC achievements, programs, and opportunities thereof. May I also thank the organizers of this event for the excellent preparations and for all SADC staff for their tireless efforts in coordinating the implementation of SADC development and integration agenda. With these few remarks, I now declare the project of support towards operationalization of SADC regional agriculture policy launched. I thank you. Merci beaucoup. Muito obrigado. Que ale borra. Asanteni sana.